Hey Howard, back 5 minutes later.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah.
That's right. I love you. You're fun to deal with.
And I brought in my version of this thing that I'm working on, and for critique. And Howard's always more than pleased to give me my critiques, because how are you going to learn unless you get critiqued, right?
This is true, and you're doing a fine job.
Yep. But at any rate, I wanted to hone in today. We talked about your building the other day, but we never showed folks the finished stone base, and it's just stunning.
Well, first of all, it didn't take as long as I thought.
Okay.
I said it would take probably 4 days to do it. It took 2 days.
You know, we thought it was going to take like overnight for each side to dry.
It takes about 3 to 4 hours for it to dry thoroughly, and then it's fine. And then, so I did the three sides in the first day, and the fourth side was second.
Wow. And there's nothing wrong with using paper. There's nothing wrong with using plaster, but in this,
Al, if you have the opportunity to use the real thing, why simulate it when you don't have to?
Right.
So here you go.
Yep. And
that's my case.
We talked about building a dam in my last video. If you want to see how this was done, Howard did this, go to my last video on this. It's titled Howard Zane builds a stone foundation, and you can watch Howard show us and teach all of us here how he did this. And I plan on doing this as well. You've got some stones left over I can steal from you, I assume. Good.
We've got plenty. We've got a whole gallon of them.
Good.
This came from City Express.
Yes. You know, one of the things we talked about earlier in another video is you've got these raised plastic letters. Did you get those from Amazon?
Yes. Oh, actually, no. They came out of England.
Okay.
A company called Stoddard, I think.
Okay, but
you
got a huge bag full of them.
I got that on their website. I found them. This had nothing to do with Amazon.
Okay.
Slater, here you go.
Okay. You might be able to buy these at...
Probably Amazon. No, I got the other ones up there, the wooden ones.
Okay.
Over there. They came from Amazon.
But it gives you a three-dimensional look because the letters stick out. So...
Well, yeah, it's a plus, actually. It's definitely a plus.
Well, the reason I'm in a quandary, folks, is Howard is going to teach me. Look at the roof. It starts as a flat roof, and obviously the structure does not look correct with a flat roof. It needs to be angled, and you build this back angle here, and I have no problem building that back angle. And Howard had me create call it a dam, call it whatever you want to call it. It's the ridge.
Well, you got the first part. You haven't built the second part. Now I'll show you. Can you get your camera to focus on this here? You see how this, what you've done is this piece here.
Okay.
Now you're going to put a thinner piece, same dimension, like that over here.
All right, turn it toward me, Howard.
So,
all right, I see.
So you see this little groove in here?
Yes.
Now the roof piece fits in this little retainer.
All right. Curve it.
Here's your roof going in there.
Right. Curve it to here. Here's a piece of roof. Let's show them with a real piece of roof here. All right.
This is way out of scale.
Well, that's all right. It's going to be hidden, but you're going to overlap it and create that dam.
That holds the roof.
And it holds the roof
right like that.
Right in that gap.
Yeah. Now you can adjust the angle any way you want.
And it holds it in place.
Right.
And that's what we've got going on here.
So you got one more piece, 4 more pieces actually to glue on there.
Right.
Then we're all set to do the roof.
Now, the challenge for me isn't the back. The challenge for me is how to get the angles. You got to go up, under. You got to go up and over, and you got to go under.
That's pretty simple. Simple up and over.
All right.
I'll show you how to do that.
Well, it looks a little tricky to angle it and tuck under, because you can see.
It's only tricky because you've never done it.
Right.
Once you know how to do it, it's not tricky. Like anything else, you learn, then you do it.
And I'll share that. Howard's going to share that with us, folks, so we can all learn together on this. So the journey continues. Now here's the cupola under construction. This is the center section. And obviously there's 3 sections: a top, a mid section, and a bottom section.
This is too thin.
Okay.
That's 1/32 you use. This should be at least a minimum of 1/16.
Okay, for strength.
Yeah, for strength.
All right, I'll strengthen
and
that.
Also for the proper bulk But we could fix this up.
Okay.
Also, you didn't paint this.
Right.
That should have been painted black if you want to get that same look.
Okay.
Now we can leave it white. That's okay. We can weather this. It'll look great. We can put channels on the end. That's fine.
Okay.
And then in here, I can show you how to use black paper.
Okay.
That's how you see me
Actually,
do that before.
I think if we weather it down with a little bit of black out, it'll look good. Yeah.
Unless that's not a deal breaker.
You know, we talked to folks a little bit about color, and we're, you know, obviously art is in the eye of the beholder, but Howard, what I found very interesting is your designs, your particular designs tend to call for certain colors. And I've tried to change color on some, and I was not happy with the results.
You know, when I was studying industrial design, graphic design, and all that stuff in college, there's so many things I learned that I agreed with, and so many things I disagreed. But the one thing I agreed with is certain shapes call for certain colors. Now, this is a course we actually took.
Right.
And this particular building here called for a white with white window frames. If I put dark window frames, it wouldn't look as good. It would look entirely different, but it wouldn't have the panache or whatever this thing has.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my house, as you drive up, it's brown, and it has natural brick. All these houses designed in 1969 called for a brown facade, a brown house with natural brick.
Mm-hmm.
Now, over the years, these houses were sold, and some of the young people that bought into these things don't know this. So one house is blue, another house is aqua, another house is yellow, and it makes me want to scream, but then again, it's their house, so I just mind my own damn business and bite my lip and walk past it very quickly so I don't puke. But that's the way it is. I spend most of my time out here building structures, so I'm not outside. I used to have a dog, but the dog went south, or actually went north.
You know,
the doggy heaven.
Folks, I tried to change some. Again, you can change color, and you know that's okay. But a lot of what I love about some of these buildings, the play on colors, the oxide red works with the white on this particular structure.
Color work in any building.
And what's interesting is the color we just featured on Pocahontas. I just shot this, folks. This isn't white. This is kind of a cream, like an almond, like a cream against dark gray.
You lost. Oh, well, this one here.
Yeah, back here. Yeah,
because it's works fine.
Yeah.
If I painted this thing all beige, you'd have a great a building that doesn't look great. What else?
Yeah, I mean the colors work real well. Actually,
now, I got the rest in mind. Well, Gacy, you picked that gray.
Right.
That was your. I said find a gray, and the gray I had found was anywhere near that dark, and I was ready to. Well, I wasn't going to use it, but it's the only one I could find. Now you found that gray, and I said, shit, that's it.
Yeah, I like the way this looks.
Yeah, that's gunship gray. Tamaya.
And we shot a video of this, folks. You can just get on the channel and watch it.
Now, I did make one change, which I did not like on the prototype. I didn't like this blue sign.
Okay.
I thought this sign looked better.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, I don't have the blue sign anyway. I can't find any more. I have to make a new one.
We talked about those recessed, those letters. It gives you the three-dimensionality of it.
Yeah, it does, actually. I like it. I was going to do, or try to do, my old thing with the computer, which I can't do anymore because I can't figure out how to do it.
Right.
As the white on black, the black field, the white rabbits.
So, as I continue with this roof on this structure, we'll make some additional videos on my journey on my wagon. Actually, it's going to be a Martin company, but it might be Zane and Company. I don't know what I'm going to call it.
I'm not too happy about the Zane Company.
All right. Well, let's call it.
Now, Martin, this originally was Martin Wagon Company, as we talked about.
Right.
But we're too far, as I mentioned, into the 21st to talk about wagons. So maybe years back, 50 years, 30 years, we can still talk about wagons. So I just call it the Martin Company.
I might, I'll figure out a name for it. My dog or my wife or who the hell knows what I'm going to do.
There you go.
You know, I'll figure out something.
I remember days past how model railroads were named. You had all these crazy names like the Gory and Defeated.
Right.
I mean, those are all imaginative names. Now people have to have prototypes. They'll model prototype. Everything's got to be prototypical. Now, there's a fellow you may know, I shan't mention his name, or maybe I will, Mike Williams, because what he's doing is fine. It just isn't me. Mike has done research. He's an O-scale modeler,
Mm-hmm.
2-rail O-scale, and he's modeling Troy to Albany. It's a small section on the New York Central.
Okay.
But he's done research, and he has a website. I forgot what it's called, and he's researched every building as it appeared in 1942 along the route. And that's what he does. He loves doing the research. Every piece of rolling stock, every locomotive has got to be completely right. And that's fine.
Right.
That's where he gets his fun out of it.
That's part of the fun of the hobby. You
Yeah.
can decide what way you want to go.
Al, there's something in this hobby for everybody, including budget. You can buy, you don't even have to be relegated to buying a Tyco Chattanooga Choo-Choo. It's not necessary.
Right.
You can go to a train show and buy a good piece that's out of production or used by somebody else.
Right.
That's fine. But any budget you can think of, there's something for somebody in this hobby.
And speaking of budget, we won't name, but we had a customer that watches the channel came over to look at brass. And we...
Do I know about this?
What's that?
Do I know about this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the fellow that came over, and we sold him an inexpensive locomotive. Well,
It was his first brass piece.
It was his
Nice
first,
guy, yeah, nice guy.
first brass
He got
piece.
a hell of a deal. That was United Milwaukee Road F6.
Yeah, and it was an HM. HM used to make, I said, brass locomotives back in the day, I guess.
They did quite a few, actually. I thought about it.
So we're going to have upcoming episodes on brass and brass for sale, but you don't need to spend $1,000 to get a brass engine. You can get a brass engine sometimes less expensive than some of the current stuff.
There's so many sources to buy brass engines. It's so much out there, especially now because a lot of the collectors were dinosaurs, such as myself, and they're unfortunately passing away. And or moving to Florida and wind up fishing off the end of a damn bridge with a stupid hat with a sailfish on,
Right.
and a Hawaiian shirt.
I'd like to be there,
and
Howard.
Bermuda shorts. You want to be there? Fish off the end of a bridge?
Yes.
You'll be bored. Plus,
No,
probably wouldn't catch you damn thing.
I'd actually set up a stool and build structures.
Yeah, there you go.
You know.
Until the fish bites.
Yeah, man.
And knowing you lucky, you get a great white would be on your line. You're
Yeah,
like
they
hell.
pull me in. Well, Howard, I appreciate this, and we will follow along with the progress of my building. And folks, if you have a suggestion for a name, you can leave it if you want. Thanks for watching. Hey, Howard, thanks. I appreciate it.
Hey, Al, thank you very much.